Hi, and welcome to Tom Talk Shop. Today, I'm going to talk about my bench here, or the dogging system on my bench, and some happy accidents I've had, and kind of how I've gone from using a system of pegs, and I'm kind of getting away from that and gone to a kind of a newer system that I've just cooked up as I went along. And so we're going to call it Teaching an Old Dog Some New Tricks. If you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Okay, so I will start with my old system, and basically all these holes were originally 3/4 of an inch, and of course, as you can see, we use pegs in them, and they've gotten really loose over the years from being used so much. This is kind of what I've been using, something similar to this. I started with nails, but I found screws work a whole lot better, and they do fit in here, and they do work. The board, and I'm not sure we can get that with a camera without taking another shot, but the board's, well, I can turn it this way, I guess. And the board, you know, it does grab a board pretty good, but you've got to keep it from sliding to the side. And that served me fairly well. I did have to drill a couple more holes here out at the edge to do that. So when I have a board, but inevitably, you've always got something that's just the wrong width and you can't quite get it to bite, so you're having to put all kinds of silly spacers in here and all sorts of things. And you still have to do this with my new system, but it's not as bad. So what I thought I would do, my first thought, let me find it again, I made one with a single peg, so I didn't have to worry about lining up different holes, and I could put it in different places, and then I would just catch it on the end with my hold down. Unfortunately, their hold downs don't really, they hold stuff down, but they don't stop things from sliding around when you're really pushing on them. And that hasn't worked that well, though this thing has found a new use. So I came up with this guy, and it's kind of asymmetric, but it works good. It always lives in this one spot because it's made just to fit in these two pegs. Yeah, these two peg holes. And then I was using it, and I was still using my pegs to hold sides, and I thought, well, you know, I would like something that's a little bit easier to use. So I created this guy. It looks rough, and it probably won't last that long. And it's just 3/4 inch pegs I've made, and it'll fit in any of these areas. I was pretty careful when I originally built the bench to get my spacings all pretty close for my original pegs. And then you can slide your board in there to plane, and you get a pretty good capture with it. If it's a narrow board like this, I would move it in this position anyway. But so that allows you to capture a board like that, and it holds it quite well. So that was kind of my first thought. And it works well till you get longer boards. Okay, so I've got a longer board here, and that's fine. And when you're planing from here forward, it really holds it good. In fact, when I do it, I typically go back to this space because I don't like it being right out on the edge like that. So I can plane about right here, just rock solid. Except when you're scrubbing, you don't even have to tap the hole down. If you do need to put the hole down, there's some holes here, and you can also get it up here, and then you can put it and tap it down and get a hole down. Now, when you get down past this and you start scrubbing, particularly across the grain or flattening, you'll find that you get this kind of movement. Even with the hole down, you might a little bit. And you can use a peg like this and a wedge, and that works, but every time you hit it, it'll start walking back. It walks rather quickly, and 10, 15, 20 passes, you're constantly tapping that thing back all day long. Well, I discovered that if I take my otherwise rejected dog here, pop it in the hole, and then I use a wedge, and I have a couple different ones that seem to work really well. It seems not to want to walk like it would otherwise. So I can take and I can very aggressively plane across, and it stays put without, you know, having to constantly be tapping that guy back in. I could probably do the whole board and maybe adjust it once at the most. Sometimes I still have uses for pegs. A good example is here when I'm putting a long board in my vise and I'm going to edge plane it. So what I do is somewhere out near here the end, I catch the edge of it with a peg, and then like this one is a real sloppy board, I clamp it down with a hold down. So I still use pegs sometimes, though these dogs seem to work pretty good for most of the top bench functions. The pegs work really well on the front, so because they're so adjustable, because I can use them this way and this way. Okay, I'll do a quick recap here. I've got my old system here, my pegs, lots of little things to lose, and like my pegs on the front of the bench here. And then I've got my new system, and my wedges. And then I've got my new system, which consists of a stop dog and then a real long side dog. And then when I need an extension, I have it and a nice chunky wedge there to hold it. And then, of course, I usually use a single hold down with it to just secure anything where I'm not getting a good bite. And that basically replaces almost everything in my pile over here, which I'll bring it all out and pile it up, which means that I can now have most of this room back in my tool well. And let's see, I'm still finding more pieces. So basically I'm replacing all of that with these 3 pieces or 5 pieces here with that. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.